Hey, what's happening, boys and girls? I'm Rust Belt Mechanic here, and welcome back into the channel tonight. We are just pretty much going to be hanging out tonight. I haven't really gotten a whole lot more in the way of content going on right now at the moment, but didn't want to leave you guys all high and dry hanging out, not getting any content this week. Not in any fresh content, anyways, at least. Do have a couple of things coming down the line here in the next couple of weeks, but just waiting on a couple of parts, waiting on a couple of tools to come in to be able to do these fun little projects and things, and wanted to kind of hang out with you guys and see what's going on in your guys' world, and maybe get some good old chat going on some upcoming projects that we possibly have coming for the channel here in the next couple of weeks. Just kind of seeing what you guys are up to, seeing what the channel's up to. I know you guys can see this is my uh, basement area right now where I've been kind of working and everything, and kind of joining in here with the SP Tools banner. I have yet to get my Rust Belt banner put up down here, so you guys will have to hang out with that one. But yeah, yeah, things are going pretty good, Bill. Josh is in the house. Speedy Chick, what's happening? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going good for you guys over in the area of New York. Hopefully, you guys are doing pretty well with the whole Chrysler things going on. Now that I am officially out of Chrysler realm, and it has been, it's been something, it's a little different. On vacation, she's joining in while she's on her vacation. Well, I feel very grateful for that one. Josh, I've talked to you a couple times before, buddy. I think I'm just gonna do some hanging out tonight, man. I might have you on another evening or another episode, though. So I'll keep you filled in on that one, bud. But I do appreciate you being in here. Josh is an awesome guy. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he is a really, really good person. I appreciate him being in here. One of my earlier subscribers. He loves his tools. He really does. Yep. What is SO tool? Oh, SP. Oh, that's SP Tools. That is the new company that I work for now. I do not work at the dealership anymore. If you guys have kind of missed that one, I am actually running the Student Next Tech program for SP Tools USA. It's my new career that I have now. So pretty much when students go to school, they get and are offered tools at a really discounted rate. Well, that's the program that I'm putting forward for SP Tools. SP Tools was primarily in Australia and everything over the last 45 years. Now they're coming here into the US of A. So kind of helping them in doing that as well. What's up, Holsteins and Diesels? Hello from under the dash of my pickup, 89 F250. Oh man, rocking it with the old school, man. There we go. Yes, SP Tools USA. All you have to do is www.sptoolsusa.com. That's where they're at right now. I know a lot of things right now on the site show not in stock. We are pretty low on a lot of stock of things coming from Australia, but here in the next couple of weeks, they are going to get restocked with a lot of stuff, including their new line of toolboxes, which I talked about quite a few times on live streams before, that we've helped and have totally redone things. And it's going to be an exciting thing to be able to see coming out here in the next, I'd say, month or so. We're going to see some of the smaller boxes and hopefully in before the beginning of 2021. So before the end of the year. Yeah, buddy. 16 people in here. That's cool. We're just hanging out, having a good old time tonight. Got some margaritas in the glass. Even though we're about out of ice, I had my son's 10th birthday today. Had about 20 people over here. Of course, when you get that many people over, they just destroy your ice. We didn't happen to go get any extra, so the maker was keeping up with what it could. But we had a good old time today. Will you be put on the road? You have your own truck, maybe a Class A motor coach? No, I will not be on the road for selling tools. Not really going to be my thing for that one. However, I will be on the road per se for shows, for going to schools, showing the SP Tools USA Next Tech program. I will be jumping around between different schools and different events. I'll be doing that kind of stuff. Plus, I do still live in Ohio, but I'm doing a lot of videos and a lot of the online stuff for the SP Tools and the Cutting Edge Automotive channel on YouTube. A lot of their YouTube content, I'll be helping and doing a lot of that. So I'm going to be going down to Alabama every month or so. So traveling down there to help them doing that. Mr. Maintenance Man coming into the house. What's up, Neil? Haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. I know I haven't been out for just kind of hanging out, chatting with everybody in a while either. So I guess it's not just a you thing, it's a me thing. Good seeing you guys here. Flat rate at Chrysler. So I guess I could go into that one. Yeah. So a lot of what I get a lot of people that ask me how much I was making when I was working flat rate at the Chrysler store. And honestly, a lot of that matters with what kind of work you're doing, where you are at in the industry, and also where you happen to live in the United States as well. It makes a huge difference because what I'm getting paid here, it's nothing compared to guys who are in Texas, California, some of the bigger city areas. I was not making that much money per hour, per se, when it comes to seeing other guys working flat rate from what I was doing. So when I was working for the flat rate portion of things, I was making like 28 bucks an hour working as the flat rate technician in the shop. Been there for almost 13 years. Yeah, almost 13 years. And then I also was the shop foreman, and I got paid a flat rate per month to do those duties. And that was helping to train one of the newer technicians that was coming in from school. He was a new tech who was with me all the time. That was taking care of the warranty things that went on for a lot of the conversion vans, talking with those, doing the warranty claims, photos, and whatnot for that. It's also handling special tools for the dealership. Had to organize, do inventory on those, had to make sure everything was there every single year, and also stocking, making sure everything in the shop itself was worked out correctly, and doing a lot of the help with the comeback things in the shop as well. My skill level, I was level 3. I guess I technically still am level 3 certified in anything and everything across the board: electrical, brakes, auto trans, manual trans, differential drive line. I have my L1 certification, all my ASEs. So pretty much anything that you could have a certification in for, diesels, whatever, I had it with Chrysler. No, Ron is not 5 feet from me. He is on a different floor within the same household, I guess, right now at this point. Ron's all on his lonesome. It is something where Ron goes to work every day now, and I get up out of bed and yep, I have my breakfast and coming down here and working at my computer station now is the majority of my time. Oh, what was your main skill level? I answered that one. What was your best AT? Is that the best amount of hours that I was able to turn in a week? Is that what you're asking, Jesus? Our dealership was also really good about giving hours to the technicians who actually work there. We were not overstaffed by any means. That's one of the hardships that a lot of dealerships these days, they highly overstaff when it comes to the technicians, and that's to be able to get things in and out usually faster and better within their dealership, but at the same time it gets a lot lower hours for the technicians. And it's a hard thing to say and kind of depressing, but at the dealership that I worked at, they are not that way. They kept the staff at a reasonable level to where everybody was able to get well over their 40 hours per week flat rate. Does SP Tools have any tool trucks? At this exact moment, they have one tool truck and another assisting, kind of opening another tool truck line down in Alabama right now. However, they also have different trucks that are being set up right now at the moment in New York City, in the Bronx area, and one other one that they're in talks to. I want to say it's in like Texas or something like that. But they are currently looking for other opportunities to be able to put trucks in other places around the states, kind of just spreading out with what they can and what they have to work with at the moment. But they definitely are going to be spreading out here soon. No, like what was your bread and butter, or what were you good at the best? Sure, these. So at the dealership, um, I'd like to say that I was pretty good at just about everything. There was some things that I liked doing more than others. I did work a 7-month stint at another dealership about 6.5 years ago, and I did nothing but heavy line work, and that was miserable. Heavy line work being primarily all under warranty, that sucked. That was that was not fun at all. So coming back, a lot of what I did was diagnostics, electrical things, drivability, transmission, because in the shop that we worked at, I was the only one certified in transmission. I was the only certified in manual trans and four-wheel drive systems. And I think the highest or one of the only ones level 3 certified in diesel things as well. So did all of those. Plus, I was the only technician who really worked on a lot of the conversion vans. We sold ProMasters brand new from a couple of different conversion companies, as well as Explorer vans used from a lot of Chevy things. So I was very, very skilled in those. So I guess the bread and butter, the things that probably made me the most money over the last year or so was probably conversion vans because, dude, I don't get this. So, as a Chrysler tech and a Chrysler, just technician in general or a dealership that deals in ProMasters, you guys get one of these things, comes into your dealership and says, "Hey, my AC isn't working." ProMaster. All right, cool. You look at it on the inside, yep, it's all converted. Immediately, right off the bat, the service writer at the dealership says, "Nope, not touching it. It's a conversion van. We're not going to be messing with this one under warranty at all." Then you're like, really? So now this customer, who's just bought a $90,000 conversion van from us, by the way, and now has an issue and can't get it worked on because these other dealerships, in lesser layman's terms, are pussies and don't want to touch something that they did not sell, which is a pain in the butt. So a lot of the times it was me over the phone also talking to other dealerships, trying to get them convinced that, hey, these things are really easy to work on. If you know how to work on a ProMaster, it's still a ProMaster. You still have ProMaster issues, figure it out. That was a pain in the butt. Mick Bake in the house. What's up, buddy? I miss you too, man. Short little McBake. Jeff Hurley in the house. What's up, man? Will SP let you pick where to go? Will you be working with larger schools like UTI? So, Bill, one of the things I would love to get in with is UTI. Also, going to be probably one of the harder things, the harder schools to be able to get into, because a lot of the UTIs, they have primarily um, deals with Snap-on and sometimes Mac. Some of them might, but primarily Snap-on. So getting into some of those bigger schools, there's going to be a little bit of a different push to be able to do those. So kind of hoping it to be able to do it. Right now, I am just kind of building up everything to be able to have all the tool lists. I've been putting those together over the last couple of weeks. I've been putting together different flyers and ad materials to be able to send out to schools, putting up ad campaigns. So over the first couple of months, we're going to have some things that are going to be able to be discounted even more than normally what would be on student level, just as like promotional things. Also, we're still waiting on our new line of toolboxes to come in and maybe some new design tool carts as well. So, waiting on everything and all the pieces to kind of fall into place before I can really do a big push for a lot more connection with the schools. Right now, it's just getting the site, getting that one finished, the pricing and everything set up on those, and then we'll be working in with the toolkits and making sure we have the product for everything. And then I'll be actively going out looking for more schools. But as far as the way are sized or anything like that, I'm not really caring. As long as there's students in need of the tools, I will make the appropriate time available to be able to see them and talk to them. Everyday Fleet Tech, the Salt Master, also in the house. Jesus says I don't work on cars anymore. I still am working on cars every once in a while, just not getting paid for it pretty much per se at a dealership. I've been working on my own stuff here at the house, a little bit different there. I've got some more stuff going on with the Duramax, and one of the projects that you guys really haven't seen much of, and that was the crappy Fog Machine 300 that I had picked up. So we're going to be going into that. SB Tools is located in Foley, Alabama. Josh? SB Tools USA, that's where they're being distributed out of, at least. SB Tools as a whole is located in Australia. What prompted you to buy a Duramax pickup? Honestly, that's a really good question, Holsteins and Diesels. So normally, obviously, me working at a Dodge dealership, I loved my Dodges, and I own Dodges. Well, one day, some guy who came in from California decided he wanted to trade it in, came to Ohio, traded in his 2006 Chevy LBZ, didn't need it anymore, and it was the cleanest truck I had ever seen. So honestly, picked that truck up just because it was really, really clean, well maintained, good service and everything. So I ended up picking up that one right there. And I said, truck's a truck. I'd rather have one that's clean and not have any rust. I'd never owned a truck like that before. So might as well start with this one, learn something new. Bill asks, where's the dog? He is hiding upstairs because if he comes down here into this area, he gets into all kinds of crap and everything. He's still like a little kid and jumps into, tears apart stuff every once in a while if I'm not paying attention to him. When I'm paying attention to the camera, I can't pay attention to him too much. Chris Emmon here. What's up, buddy? Also another Chrysler tech. What's up? McBake is a big loser. Got any tips for wiring diag? So that's another one of the videos that I'm really kind of wanting to put out is an addition into my automotive how-to kind of series that I've started into where I've done auto how-to on the AC system, on some of the general diag, how to diagnose and go through the 6-step process. I want to be able to do one on electrical diagnostics, basics for electrical. So I might go into a video on that one sometime soon. Wiring diagrams, they honestly just really kept up and came on pretty easy for me. I was able to catch on to them really quick while I was in school. And once you understand the flow of how everything works, and then, of course, all the little intricacies of what a resistor is, what a diode is inside of a circuit, and how this is flowing in this direction. Once you understand that, all of it just kind of falls into place for that one. It's not too harsh to understand. Been in Chrysler for 16 years now. I'm certified 6 out of 7. I feel like I'm going to another car company like Ford. I don't think I could ever make the jump to Ford. I don't know, man. I've tried working on a lot of Fords when I was there in the shop, and they were just such a pain in the butt that I couldn't bring myself to want to work on a Ford. Now, as far as Chevy, I could make that jump. I'm sure I could have done that one. But also where I was at in my career, the Chrysler store and the dealerships that I was at was taking care of me so much that I didn't have really a want or a need to make a look for a jump like that. But honestly, if you're looking for a place that might treat you better, might get you more hours, might get you better benefits, especially the benefits part. If you can find a dealership that'll pay better for like your health insurance and everything, huge, well worth the jump in a lot of things. Making that hourly time and that flat rate is not always what it's cracked up to be. You got to look at like the whole picture all the way around. He must go crazy when you got the job. It has been quite a difference. I'm not far at all from the SP Tools warehouse. Oh, no crap, Chris. Huh. Well, you might have to come back over into that area, Chris, when I go back down there. I'll be down there the first week of November as well as the first week of December. I'll be down there doing some filming and stuff. You'll have to see about stopping by sometime down there. I'll be down there in Foley for the week. But yeah, going crazy kind of with this job. It's very different. It still keeps me on my toes, not as much physically, but definitely mentally, kind of dropping into the whole tool scene, talking to the bigger players rather than the end users, talking to the companies and the warehouses and the manufacturers rather than talking to all of the end users and you guys. So it's actually helped me out to understand better of where the tool companies are going and where they're coming from now that I understand, because I've worked in the industry for so long, and what a technician is really looking for. That's why I'm really excited to be able to work on some really cool projects coming up, hopefully getting some new tool stuff coming in with SP as well here in the future. John Rivierius, no, I don't know who Dylan Diesel is, not right off the bat at least. What's my opinion on Hastings filters? I honestly have never used Hastings filters, Jeff. I can't say that I have. Yeah, let me know down here. We can. Yeah, definitely, Chris. Like I said, I'll be down there the first week of November. Shaka Gillis coming through with a $2. Good evening. Roy Obies and Ram are trash. You're gonna throw in Rams into the trash bin now? I know you have a severe hate for Roy Obi, which it is what it is. I actually used quite a bit of my Ryobi tools today. I used a screw gun to put a fence post back into place, and used my Ryobi trimmer today. I did yard work today. It was a nice enough day out to do that, and I used my Ryobi 4-stroke gas leaf blower as well. I actually had to repair that one, but after about 5.5, 6 years, the primer bulb finally dried up enough to crack. So I had to pick up a $1 primer bulb. Ooh, buddy. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Jonathan. Appreciate it, man. Can't hate on McBig that much. He's a pretty cool guy. Just saying. Have you done the fast fuel filter system upgrade on my Dirty Max? I have. I've obviously done a fuel system upgrade, but I did not go with fast for a couple of different reasons and a couple of horror stories I have seen and heard from people that I heavily trust in the diesel industry. I went with an AirDog 165 is what I'm currently running in my truck. Did a video on that one where I upgraded that. I also did a sump pickup in my tank. So added that one onto there. So I did it. I love it. It's working awesome. Shaka's girl ran off with the Ryobi rep. Will SP still be releasing the Rust Belt Toolbox? So that is still in talks and on the table. I believe that it is still going to be a go. We are just kind of waiting on when we're going to be able to get these certain things. And from what it's looking like, we're probably going to be getting the first line of toolboxes is going to be the smaller ones, which is going to be the 34 and the 43-inch toolboxes in first. So those two we're going to be coming in first, but later on down the line, we're going to be getting the 73s, and I think that's what we're going to have the Rust Belt Special Edition. So guys going to have to look out for that one. 73-inch toolbox from SP. We're going to be looking at adding some really cool things for a Rust Belt Mechanic Edition. I think it's going to be something awesome. Yeah, Chris, I love the air dog system that I have on mine. You think a rust patina? I don't know about a rust patina on it. Now, my thought personally was to do some custom wraps on it. So the talk of what the Rust Belt version edition is going to have and be, it's going to be their version with the flat black, as well as having the blue trim, possibly also included with the red trim one or not, and then doing a custom wrap on the riser, on the opening section of the riser. We're going to be doing possibly a custom wrap within there and seeing about doing a big collage of the different projects. I've got some ideas on some pretty cool stuff to be able to put into that one, but something that has to do with the channel, kind of big collage across the board with mechanic stuff, the projects that have been going on and everything. I think it'll be pretty cool. Spence, you can say what you want to, buddy. Whatever. People can say what they want, man. I know that the content's not coming out as fast right now, and I understand that one. That's why I'm like, things change, life changes. It is what it is, and this is what I'm doing now. A lot of the things are going to be different now. Here, coming up over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be getting back into a couple of different projects that were here before. The Duramax. We've got a couple of other stuff coming out for that need fixed on the Duramax. Got a He's still going to review other tools. Jeff Hurley, yes, I am probably still going to review some tools. Now, obviously, that one's got to be a little bit on the tiptoed side of things since I work for SP Tools. I'm not going to be doing reviews on tools that would be in direct competition with the people who pay my paychecks and everything. So just have to point that one out there. But there are all kinds of other tools and tool makers that make things that SP Tools has nothing to do with or nothing even close in its arsenal. So things like that, yeah, I'll still be doing some reviews and things like that. Doing shop processes, getting some of that information out of my head that since I've been working in the flat rate system and in the industry for the last 13 years, I still got a lot of great information of stuff that, I just haven't been able to make videos on, even still from working at the dealership and all. So looking at that one, shave the beard. Man, he is just all about being a sour patch of apples tonight. You can't shave the beard. Yeah, Jeff, don't want to really sink my own ship when it comes to that one. Toolbox comes free with one DOS boot. I don't know. the Master Apprentice, the captain can't even finish one DOS boot, let alone within 5 minutes. Yeah, I know, Chris. Dude, you've been here a long time. I am pretty sure that you were in before 1,000 subs. He had more subs than I did starting off. So I was looking into that. I'm like, yep, another YouTuber. Sweet, man. I appreciate that, man. Really do. Billy the Mechanic. What's up? All is going pretty well. Pretty darn well. We're just chilling out, having a good night tonight, chatting with everybody here. Not really having a huge agenda on anything. Talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, answering some questions. Like I said, unfortunately, I still got my SP background back here for the week. I've got my Rust Belt one, and I thought I had it at the house that I was going to hang it behind me, but evidently it must be in my trailer still from the big truck show that we had up in Ohio a couple weeks back. So I'm gonna have to make a trip over to the trailer, which is at the storage unit, and pick up my Rust Belt banner for the background and stuff for this one. Yeah, Chris, exactly. Family comes first, jobs come first, life comes first. I love the YouTube thing, and it is a big part of my life. However, it is not always on the priority list, unfortunately. I do the content as I possibly fast as I can with it. But like I said, certain things come first. Got to do what you got to do. Thanks, Jeff. So, coming up, I've got the Duramax. I've got, I think, 2 videos coming up on this one here in the next week or two. I've got, there's Works for Tools coming in here. Also, another great guy. Everyday Fleet Tech. Honest question. How do you keep motivated to keep making content? So, a lot of it is I have self-drive to this one, and the YouTube channel means something to me that, you know, having the connection with the audience that I have and being able to continue that as something that means a lot to me. So I really want to be able to do the channel and make the content for the subscribers as best that I possibly can. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of it is in general with family stuff and is with obviously jobs and everything going on. It's going to take a back seat to a couple of those things. However, it is still on the priority list to I want to be able to make content and want to be able to really make good content to be able to put out to the subscribers. As I feel that I feel that I owe that to the subscribers and to the community to be able to get as much information that I have out there for guys to not only enjoy, but also to learn with and learn about. Being able to get as much information that I can to help somebody's job, to help somebody start off a little bit better off in their career. I get emails all the time from guys who are like, "Hey man, I'm just starting off in the automotive business in my automotive career, and I watched this video and I watched this video, and it helped me start off in the way so I didn't get too many tools, and I watched this one so I was able to interview a little bit better." And it was really good to be able to hear back from some people that say, "Hey, I watched your videos and it really changed the way I looked at things and gave me a better outlook at my career and got me started off better." So that always feels really good to me to be able to see those things. So another one of those things that kind of keeps me driven on for it. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Holsteins and Diesels. Appreciate it, buddy. Yep. Got a good thing going, got a great opportunity. So I was also on another channel. I was on another live stream this last week, and they were talking about the opportunities for YouTubers and a lot of the guys that are in the tool community, in the automotive community, and seeing certain industries that are taking us as content creators, as YouTubers, and using our knowledge and taking our knowledge for a better round of what it is and what it's good and used for. So a lot of these bigger companies now, you'll see the inboxes of certain YouTubers, and if you could see my email come through, you're gonna have to see that it is ridiculous the amount of emails that come through wanting project review product reviews, wanting to look into certain projects with their whatever software that they may have, and then or just people just wanting to pay for putting ads into it. Not something that I'm really interested in my content. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's something that's of my level where it doesn't really make a difference to me to want to put that kind of stuff out. So, but I have noticed over the last 6 months, 8 months, a year or so that the amount of content creators who are getting the connections with these bigger companies is grown quite a bit. Oh yeah, you turn down sponsor stuff all the time. Dude, there's so many emails that you just get, nope, that goes to spam, that goes to spam. But you see that our value as content creators and as people who make connections with other people in the industry, it does have a certain value to it. And one of the things where I was able to connect with a couple of companies and eventually get a job with SP Tools has been one of those biggest like aha moments with the tool community and a lot of content creators on here, and knowing that something that they're doing here on YouTube has a connection and has that um, ability to maybe to grow something more into the future. One of those things where going on and being a technician over the last 13 years, I wouldn't change it for a minute. I wouldn't change anything that I did in that 13 years to be anything different from where I am at right now. I am extremely happy with the decisions that I made, and going through that 13 years put me into this position. Now, I also think that a lot of those guys who have put 13, 15, 20 years into the automotive industry gives you guys a lot of knowledge, and it could be used for a lot of different things in the industry with tools, with connecting with other technicians. A lot of smart guys out there also know how to do a lot of electrical diag, could be help for tool companies and diagnostic companies who are looking to better their equipment, better their sales. And I think that's one of the things that I was trying to get at is the YouTubers who are putting themselves out there and showing the people the kind of technicians that they are and the kind of content that they can do is showing the industry that, hey, these guys who are putting the content out there are guys who actually know what they're doing and actually know what they're talking about. So their viewers are seeing the relative value in the content as well, and not even as to the point of wanting to sell things, but wanting to use that knowledge that some of these YouTubers have is something that a lot of these industry guys are just now starting to see the value of. I know a lot of people say it. Do you feel like a seller? Do you feel like this makes you better? Chris, I see it all the time. People where they'll tell me, "Hey, you're a sellout," whatever, and people can think what they have and think what they want to. I am not a person who is going to judge somebody for their views or opinions. You are allowed to think whatever you want. However, anybody who honestly and really knows me knows that I have been a massive proponent for the upcoming education system and for the upcoming students coming into the automotive field. It is a huge thing to be able to help some students, help younger guys get into the automotive field because they're already at a massive disadvantage. As you guys know, a lot of my early videos that I did were denouncing a lot of the older crowd who just does nothing but put down the younger generation, tell them, the automotive stuff, you'll never want to get into it. you'll never get out of it what's going to rip your body apart and you're going to hate yourself later down the line. No, that's not how it is. It is what you make it to be. And I've been the biggest proponent for helping these guys out. And then the job opportunity came on for me to come into SB Tools and take that opportunity of helping out the younger generation coming into the automotive careers and be able to take that to a level that I never thought I would have been able to help more people out. The connection that I'm able to get with a lot of the students, a lot of the schools, and obviously through social media and content creation, that I'll be able to help out a lot more people and a lot more students and a lot more technicians in general over this platform than I could ever do just fixing cars on the flat rate at the dealership. Yes, I know that it takes away in some people's minds some of my credibility of where I'm at and where I'm working now that I'm not working on the grind flat rate every single day, that oh, now his credibility is going to go down. And you can think that if you want to, but I think the 13 years of me being um, in the business has a lot more to be able to put more information forward. So I'm still got a lot more information to come out on the channel. Andrew Carroll asked about start buying tools now or should I wait on a tool truck? So in high school and other schools, you get big tool discounts, like I was saying through the SP Tools Next Tech program. Obviously, 50% off tools sounds a whole lot better than full price tools on a tool truck. However, the biggest, most important thing is not to go into debt. Going into a lot of negative debt, especially early on in your career, puts a big dampener on what you can do and what you want to do. And that taste in your mouth for the tool truck and the automotive industry as a whole. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. So, biggest thing, be smart, don't go into debt. I'd love to have a bigger shop here at my house, Jim. I really would. Starting to understand I'm more of a behind the scenes type of guy. I love helping companies, but I start to hate making videos. I know some days it's not easy, and I'm not gonna lie either, Chad, that there's some of the days where like I'll have the whole video set up and everything, and I will just redo and go back through and do the same cut scene or try to say the same sentence like 7 times over. And I remember once or twice where I was just like, yep, through the remote, I'm like, nope, this video is not getting made today. Sorry, guys. It's just not happening. It's just, there's some of those days when you can't do it, you can't do it. Same thing with regular work. There's some days when you got to get shit done, but there's some other days when you're like, nope, just saying, that ain't happening today. Yeah, exactly, Chris. That's what I've been the biggest proponent about, trying to help out the techs coming in on everything. So getting them the biggest leap forward that they possibly could getting into their automotive career is one of the biggest things I love being able to do. And SP Tools, thankfully, gave me that opportunity. Just wrench it. Actually, it was on his channel that we were talking about that and the values of content creators and YouTubers. Also, another very good YouTube channel. You guys go and check him out. Most mechanics I know are in a lot of debt. Yeah, you don't want to get in debt like that, especially when you're a student. Coming into a new career, especially when you're new and maybe not taken seriously as much on top of that. So you're trying to fight for hours, you're trying to fight for credibility within the shop, and at the same time trying to make tool truck payments. Not always the greatest thing to be able to do. Are you going to be looking at school programs in Canada? So AgTech 45, as of right now, I am not actively going to be participating in Canadian market. However, through SP Tools USA, since there is not a separate distributor for Canada region, Canada students, I believe, I'll have to check on that one. But definitely we sell to Canadian people who want to just buy SP Tools as regular. Going through the SP Tools USA's website, we can and do sell to people in Canada through that one. However, as far as the student program goes, I have not got into the logistics of that one. That question honestly has not been asked, so that is going to be one of my next things that I will be trying to track down an answer for this next week. So I guess thank you for bringing up something that was not brought to my attention. Is there any jobs that I can do in high school that looks good on an application? Any job, honestly, Andrew. Getting anything under your belt, getting some, obviously, if you're going into auto mechanics, trying to find things that are relative to the career that you want to go into, obviously, are going to look the best. However, just having any kind of good reputation and repertoire to the fact that, hey, I'm able to show up on time. Hey, I've held a job for this long. Hey, I've been paid this much money and know about working in general, even if it's an hourly thing, sweeping floors somewhere. That opportunity to be able to work somewhere is going to look a lot better on a resume than, hey, your job at the dealership that I want to get. Yeah, that's going to be my first job. I would say probably want to get some other kind of job within under your belt. It will look a whole lot better to the job that you're really wanting down the line. Yeah, that student discount's nothing to joke at, man. Yep, there you go. You be a lube tech somewhere. Trade school programs, obviously, you're wanting to get into the automotive stuff or a diesel school. If you go to school, a lot of them pair you up with a job, and that's the best thing to do. Apprenticeship programs are the best thing. They really are. See, look, guys, lots of information, lots of different ideas for you. Shop helper at a local dealership. You could work in detail department. Lots of different opportunities for you. Local shops, audio shops, tint shops, also great things to be able to start off on. Excuse me. I know I'm not being as chatty tonight, but just enjoying chilling out, talking with you guys. So now that it is Monday coming up tomorrow, kind of big jobs everybody got looking forward to? I know that's one of the worst things about the weekend is your Sunday evening. You come to kind of the end of the weekend, you're like, all right, now I got to think about what am I getting to on Monday? I've got this one that I've got the engine torn out of. I got this one to be able to pull the trans. Those were always the fun times, and not having to think about that now, still weird to me. Still very, very weird. Yeah, snowing like crazy in Canada. That is why I will never, ever, ever live in Canada. I hate the snow so much with a passion that it makes me want to leave Ohio all the time. I seriously think about it like weekly just because of the upcoming winter. Winter is coming. Yeah, Bill, I can't blame you on that one. I would not go into body shops either. And that is just me personally. I don't have the patience for any kind of body work, so I just would personally know myself that I would not want to jump in on that kind of stuff starting off. Took the last week's vacation. You gotta work call every day. Oh, you have no idea. Chad, I know exactly how you feel. Every time I would take a vacation, every single time. There would be phone call after phone call after phone call. And then when I come back, I've got twice as much work to do because that work that normally if somebody was there doing my job while I wasn't is just compounding on the list of things that need done. So the weeks that I have coming back, I am consistently doing a catch up kind of thing for the next couple of weeks. That's how it was every single time. Every time. Right, Bill? The idea of Alabama sounds really darn good. Even when it comes to like the whole hurricanes and stuff, you're like, you know, I think I could deal with that. I think that is moved down on the list of how important it is to have in a living area. I would rather have severe weather like tropical storms than snow. I would much rather have it. I hate snow. I hate cold weather and snow that bad. Oh man. How are the shop seats wearing? They're actually fantastic, Daniel. So I was talking with somebody the other day who I actually had jump up into my truck. I'm like, hey, I put these seats in, I put their new Durafoam pads in. I want you to feel this seat compared to your Chevy truck seat. He had um, '07 LBZ, still classic body style, but he jumped up in and sat in that seat and he's like, buddy, I remember when these trucks were brand new, and I don't remember ever those seats feeling this good before, even brand new. They are holding up fantastic. Absolutely great. And so the funny thing is in that video, I put the driver's side seat on and I just thought to myself that day I didn't have enough time. Like, I showed the difference between the passenger seat, which is the old one, and the driver's seat being new. And I just do the passenger one later on. I still haven't got around to it. It's still something I still have to do. So that might be thrown in a video here in the next couple of weeks, depending on if I can get to that or not. Yeah. But other than that, those seats are fantastic. Yeah, I know the humidity is kind of bad down there, but honestly, it's not a thing that really bothers me a whole lot. I'm not really. Everyone's like, God, you're gonna sweat. So I'm not a like a heavily sweater. So the idea of the hot South, I would much rather have it 100 degrees than 30 degrees. Way, way much more have it. Heck yeah. I am we'll put it this way, Chad. I am definitely looking into it. How will the automotive industry change in the next 20 years? So, next 20 years on everybody's operation is going to go to more electronics, more electric in general. If that's not electric vehicles, it's electric assisted pretty much everything, and pretty much automation. Everything automated, whether it be through computer systems over the web, whether it be through AI systems that are integrated and built into cars. Automation is going to be the future. So, more technology, more electronics on literally everything. What was I scared about when I was in the first day as a mechanic? I was scared shitless to disappoint my mentor. So the guy who was mentoring me, really, really great guy. And I was just pretty much doing what old Ralph said to do. If he pointed to something, he's like, do this. I did that as best as I possibly could. And until I got the job done. And then I would say, hey, I'm done with that. Come, and I'd show it to him. And he'd say, hey, either good job or no, that's not how you do that shit. And have to take it all back apart. I was scared shitless for him to say, yeah, you done fucked it up. So we're going to have to pull all this stuff back apart again. Try it one more time. I didn't like that at all. But you know what? I got over that portion of, self hate for being a noob in the automotive field and eventually got to the point of having more confidence in the skill and the trade that I was going to be going into. So it wasn't too bad. Do I have the factory window sticker? For my truck? No. No, there it was just a one owner, but he did not have the factory window sticker thrown in there. Move to Alaska, eat the yellows? No. No, I'm good. Never gonna move to Alaska. Just saying, never, ever. I have no want to ever travel to Alaska either. Nope, not really looking forward to going to Turkey on Friday. Turkey, huh? Can't say that I've ever been anywhere overseas that far. I've been to Canada and Mexico, but have never been overseas to any kind of country over and around like that. Southern New Jersey isn't bad weather. Oh, I'd much rather live in North Carolina than freaking Jersey. The leftist state of Jersey. Can't buy ammunition. Nah. I also, that's another reason I would never live in California ever, ever in my life. I will never go to California. I have no want, I have no need to ever want to live in that area with those kind of laws or those kind of people. Not saying that everybody in California is a bad person, not at all, but you have to be a different person to be able to live in that atmosphere. I am not that person. Yep. Yeah, you do have Justin Trudeau though. Simple Electronics, what's up, man? Good to see you stopping in. Just having a chill out night, just hanging around, talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. 70 here. Now he's down around the ATL area. Just got hog hunting rights on a private deer camp. Nice. I really might take you up on that, man. Seriously. You know how bad I am wanting to build an AR-10 right now? I spent probably an hour and a half out of my day this afternoon kind of going through and looking up different parts and everything's for a build that I would love to be able to do with that one. So it sounds like a lot of fun to me. Doing research for a video. Look at that. You're actually doing research for a video? You mean you don't? Oh, I just kind of wing it a lot. It works out. Whatever. You don't want to worry about have a gun. Your neighbor has at least two. Yep. So what are some of the most odd ways people try to fix their cars? Around here in Ohio, duct tape. Honestly, you don't know how many people's windows, like their regulator goes out and they literally duct tape their window up, or their sunroof gets broken. And obviously, sunroofs are ridiculously expensive to fix. So instead of actually fixing their sunroof, what do? Duct tape it up all the way around. They try to use duct tape for quite a few things. It's kind of scary. I think early 2000 Silverado is going to be collectible. Honestly, Daniel, right now it depends on what it is. So right now, anything diesel from that generation is highly sought after because it is pre-EGR, pre-DEF vehicle. Because right now the tuning world has kind of all gone dark and gone to the dark web of things. So if you know who you know, you might get and understand some tuning things. But however, in the regular market, you cannot get things tuned in the diesel world much anymore. So a lot of those early diesels are very, very sought after. However, early 2000 Silverado, it's a gasser, smaller 1500 truck, unless it's got super low miles and is a super clean, rust free truck, not really going to be a collectible per se, other than just being a nice old vehicle. Jake, I would do some comparison with a couple of different things, and just like a lot of when you're comparing Snap-on to Mac or Matco or something along those lines, some of the things are going to be better. Some of the things are probably not going to be better. There are certain things from SP that I loved using more than using Snap-on things. One was the SP mid torque impact. I use that over anything Snap-on or even Milwaukee. Absolutely love that tool. Some of their nylon impact sockets were also fantastic, and I used the crap out of those. Really did. Their pry bars are over my Snap-on ones. I moved the Snap-on ones out of my cart towards the end while I was working there at the dealership and put the SP pry bars into my cart because I love those a lot more. Just going down the list, that's just three things that kind of uh, came to my mind. Like I said, there's some things that are good for some things. Some things may not be as well. All depends on the person and what they like in specific tools, and also could be what they find value in cost wise. Duct tape and zip ties will hold my life together. Fix the star on it. Digital. How did you figure out to do it? Do you use a book or do you use internet? When I did heavy a diagnostic and working on a vehicle, how did I figure out how to do it or use the book or use the internet? So when I was learning diagnostics, I think this is what you're kind of asking the question at. When I was learning diagnostics, you have to have an understanding for the basics, especially when you're talking electrical diagnostics or transmission, understanding fluid flow diagrams, understanding NVH things for driveline things. You have to understand the baseline of what you're working on before you can even come close to doing diagnostics. Electrical, you have to know your wiring diagrams, you have to know how the circuits work in general. You've got to be able to start there. And then you go through your general 6-step process, which I did a whole video on for that one, verifying the concern. You have to make sure that the problem is there, verify that the problem is a problem, and that's the one that the customer is complaining about. Then you can start going into your diagnostic process of if there's a code, you work down your sheet of, hey, with the code, checking this one, checking this diagram, checking this circuit, working your way down until you find what would be the problem. At that point, your quote of what it would be to fix it. And then one of the biggest things that a lot of technicians don't do is the follow up on their diagnostic. And that is making sure what fixed it is actually fixed. So going through the proper checking for those systems to make sure that, okay, it just didn't turn the light off for just this one cycle and it's going to come back on again the next time the customer drives more than 5 minutes. Verifying your repair and that the thing that you did actually did the repair. It's one of the things that people look over a lot. So just understanding the process in general and then having to know what tools you have at your disposal. If some of those things are just knowledge in my head, that's what it was. If another one of those things was having to know um, the circuits and the wiring diagrams, obviously you're having to use the internet for your flow charts for those diagrams, whatever it may be in that situation. It's hard to say that, the answer to that question exactly, but pretty much just understanding what you're diagnosing before you get into diagnostics. So next question here. Um, working on the Duramax coming up. Have a coolant leak on that one. I have a feeling it's the thermostat housing, but not really sure. Haven't got into it yet. Got a new tool coming to be able to help for that one. So gonna be jumping in and doing some diagnostics on that one, figuring out the coolant leak, fixing it. So that's gonna be a video there in the next week. And I've got this pesky exhaust manifold bolt. The back two manifold bolts on my Duramax for some reason keep working themselves out. I retorque them uh, back down and retorque them over and over again. I've done it like 3 times now. And after I tow a heavy load or I do a higher boost push with it, these darn back two exhaust manifold bolts like to work themselves back out. So I need to take those back out and put some red Loctite or something to be able to hold them in better over the next video also. How do you organize bolts? Does SP site accurate? So yes, unfortunately, Diabolical 58. Right now, a lot of stuff is sold out, and unfortunately, due to COVID, right now, getting shipments from Australia has been such a pain that they are shipping things roughly 1/4 of the rate that they were before. So we had or SP had tried to put in orders back in August that are still not yet received. So we are on a massive restock coming here soon to be able to hopefully fill out the website for a lot of those things. But unfortunately, yes, there's a lot of circumstances right now where there's a bunch of stuff sold out. But trust me, here in the next couple of months, the site's going to fill back up. Those sold out things are going to go away. We're going to get some better prices and also some more updated tool lines, especially when it comes to those electric tools that you were probably looking at and saw that pretty much sold out on anything and everything battery powered. There's more backstory to that one, but there's going to be better priced ones, better battery powered tools that are coming out that are going to fulfill those spots. You guys are going to love it. What's up, Rust Belt here in Ohio? Well, loving it now, man. Outside of the dealerships, not having to worry about working flat rate or anything. Working with SP Tools, trying to find my way there and building a bigger, better program for their student Next Tech stuff. It's working out really well. Just wrench it says black Loctite for the exhaust manifold bolts. I think I picked up some high temp red Loctite. I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never had this issue where I've had to put severe duty Loctite on exhaust manifold bolts to hold them in. And these aren't like cheap exhaust manifold hardware either. Like these are ARP hardware for these exhaust manifolds. They're the 12-point ARP exhaust manifold actual hardware that they put out for the Duramaxes. So they're very heavy duty bolts. They're not, it's not like these cheap factory things where they're popping the heads off of them with expansion and contraction. That bolt is actually spinning and working itself out. So hopefully something like this is going to take care of it. So what a lot of money is worth to restore a Chevy. Duramax. Oh, I love my Duramax. Doing it and working on that thing. If it's generally a low rust truck, heck yeah, it's worth it. What hand tool companies are the best bang for the buck? Also, a lot of what you find in the preference for different things. Some of the other hand tool companies that kind of stick out to me. Um, I really like the orange SP drivers that we have in stock for that one. Um, what's the other company that had a really good set of screwdrivers and hand tools? Let me look this up. The name just flew out of my head. Vessel. Vessel Tools was another really good one for screwdrivers and some hand tools as well. Japanese steel is really good when it comes to a lot of those hand tools as well. Pretty much any of the Japanese companies are pretty high up on my list there as well. Yeah. Warren Higaki, what's up, man? Hey, yeah, it has been a long time since you've been in here, buddy. Coming in all the way over from Hawaii. Good seeing you, man. Had that problem to almost every day, 7 to 14,000 when I'm not wrenching. Yeah, man. What time in the USA? Right now? 8:10 on the East Coast. I'm on Eastern time. Or I mean 9:10, sorry. My computer is on Central time because the guys I work with at SP, when they're in Alabama, they're on Central time. So I have to keep that computer on Central time just so I don't forget the time difference. Yep. Thanks, Warren. I appreciate it, buddy. Really do. Does dealerships provide tech tools, for example, GM techs? No. Here in the States, dealerships and shops do not provide tools. Aside from dealerships will provide the specialty tools just needed for some of the newer things, usually things under warranty. Some of the specialty tools that are needed for installing certain things like clutch installation, clutch packs for internal transmission repairs, maybe some specialty suspension repairs and stuff like that. They provide the specialty tools, but as far as normal tooling for technicians, no. Dealerships and shops do not give that kind of stuff. Do I like the Chevy Silverado SS? Never have driven one. Haven't really found the like of those too much myself personally. Like I said, really wasn't that much of a Chevy person before owning this LBZ Duramax that I own now. Yeah, maybe some specialty tools, but they do not provide basic tools at all. So next thing, went over the Duramax content that's going to be coming out in the next week or so. Now down the line, who in here remembers? And it was only one video where I put out, and then one of the next project vehicles that I picked up was that '06 Chrysler 300C. Picked it up, didn't really want to buy it, pretty much helping the guy out who I bought it from. Paid like 400 or 500 bucks for it, something like that. He's in a hard place, hard time, whatever. Car's not even hardly worth much over that, to be totally honest. But it was the smoke screen car where as soon as I started it up, it would just totally smoke out a whole driveway within probably 5 seconds. It burnt oil so bad, it was worse than any car I've ever seen or worked on. It's kind of crazy. Well, that one's going to be coming back into the limelight. Uh, Unfortunately, I had not gotten to that one on the channel before I left the dealership, and it was kind of just parked in the very back line of the dealership, waiting for me to get to it eventually. But since I left the dealership, I kind of had to take it away with me. I couldn't just let it sit there or anything. So thankfully, I had a really good buddy of mine who's got a shop about 5 miles, 5, 6 miles from here. And he agreed to be able to take the car over to his place and just kind of throw it up on the lift and kind of see what's up with it. And I took it over there to him and just kind of let it sit there. Whether we're going to decide to flip it or to just donate it to the local high school or donate to the local CTC for them to work on and find things out. Just wanted to get a kind of a feel for what was wrong with the car. So gave it to him, see what's up with it. He very quickly was able to figure out what was up with the oil consumption issue. oddly enough, he figured that one out. He said pulled off the oil fill while the vehicle's running, and it was pulling vacuum like nobody's business. Ended up the intake manifold was cracked internally between the vacuum, obviously inlet for the air, and the oil system for the PCV and for the oil fill cracked internally. So as soon as the engine started, it would start sucking oil and vapors up through the fill portion of the intake and would just suck all that oil down in there. So that was that issue. However, he said, found a junkyard intake to be able to put onto it just to kind of level that one out. And this was all done while I was in Alabama this last time. He just took it upon himself to do this and like filled me in on the story afterwards. He's like, yeah, man, I owed you one. Don't worry about it. So get back and start talking with him again. He's like, I put this used intake on it and the car's running, but it's still got a dead miss on cylinder 7. So he pulled a valve cover. I told him, hey, let's pull a valve cover off. Let's check your height on your lifter, make sure the rocker arm is going down and the lifter is doing a full cycle, because as technicians who work on Hemis know that they really, really love chewing up camshafts. So one of the easiest ways to check for a camshaft being bad is to pull a valve cover off. You got a dead cylinder and you see if, hey, your intake is only going up half the distance where your exhaust valve goes the entire distance, probably ended up wearing a lobe off of your cam. So you got a junk cam. However, he took valve cover off, said they are the exact same distance. So not a junk cam. So we're going to be getting into doing videos on that one because we need to do some more diagnostics. And now it's actually at a shop that I can do some more stuff on, since I can't fit it into my garage here at home with a side-by-side in there. Got a question. This is good. Oh, I understand, man. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. So the next question, Jay Who's in here. What's up, man? Sorry, totally missed that one while I was kind of just ranting about. But anyways, with the 300 then, now that we kind of know where we're at engine wise. Yes, the car is pretty rough all the way around. Pretty darn rough. At this point, what would you guys want to see me do with this junk looking, but it still is a 2006 300 Hemi, so it's a 300C Hemi, and it is all-wheel drive. The drive line does work. Transmission works, transfer case works, everything, it seems to work fine. It is a very rough car. The body is not pretty, but what would you guys think about seeing some really cool content, doing something a little bit more off the wall on that one? Because I don't know. I don't have anything in it. It's not eating anything, sitting on the back burner or whatever. But I just think that that's one of those underappreciated cars that I think could be something really cool. But that's just because everyone else looks at them as piles of junk, and I don't really care. And they're pretty cheap to fix too, honestly, compared to a lot of different things. How to make mechanics figure out how to take apart, for example, lower ball joint on a 2006 Silverado. So figuring things out like that, Daniel, a lot of the times it's to the shop and the comparison there and what kind of a tech repair software they use. So for me at the dealership that I worked at, if there was things that I didn't know how to do, then I would look up service procedures on some kind of an online technical website. We use ShopKey. A lot of other guys use AllData. Um, Mitchell is another one that's also used online. Probably 90%, 95% of shops pay for some kind of online internet-based service for technicians for their how-to things, their service procedures, oil capacities, maintenance records, pretty much anything and everything down the line. It's able to offer to whichever package the dealership or the shop pays for. But you pretty much have to have one of those things to figure out stuff on that off-brand stuff that you're working on. Convert it to a manual transmission. That's a good idea. I like that. Put a T56 in that thing. Get rid of that old. Uh, so that one's a Nag 1 and that one. So that old Mercedes Nag 1 trans. Get rid of that thing. Rally. Rally car. There we go. Your shop uses all data. So mine, the shop that we worked at, they use ShopKey Pro, another pretty much Mitchell-esque thing, also made by Snap-on, is what we used. Rally car. So my first thoughts. So hear me out on this one. That more than likely, he said he put a camera down into that dead cylinder, cylinder 7, and didn't see a beat up piston. So normally on a Hemi, if I've checked the cam and the cam is fine, it's going full up, full down. That's fine. Next thing I'm looking at is the top of a piston, because some of the time they like dropping valve seats for some reason. Drops a valve seat, beats the crap out of the top of the piston and the valve. Usually is okay on the piston, but rather would need a head. But look down in there, nothing to that extent. Also seeing a lot of debris and a lot of crap rolling around within the cooling system. Looks like somebody's been trying to chase down either a blown head gasket or something like that. So more than likely, I'm thinking that you had a bad head. So more than likely, I'm thinking the head is going to be cracked, at least on that one side. Catch up on this here. You guys run into a lot of problems with the Charger Challenger base, front suspension losing alignment and wearing tires. Yeah, the control arms are non-adjustable. You have to move the whole cradle back and forth. And honestly, I can never get that cradle to move worth a damn to try to change any kind of camber or caster movement on that one. You have to loosen that thing a bunch and beat it with a big hammer. Here in Ohio, I could never get that cradle to move. So if the toe doesn't move, there's not a whole lot you can do for that one. It really sucks for that, unfortunately. But thankfully, I never really had any major, like, complete comeback vehicles come back over and over again with issues on those LX and LC body vehicles. I do a POV work video on working on people's cars. I don't know, might be able to do that one. Do a lot of videos working on my cars. Hi, 2G grammar, gamer, whatever you want to be. Did he test the oil? No, and that's just pretty much because the oil was pretty much brand new and looks like it had been just changed a lot. So I'm thinking that they swapped all the oil over for brand new as soon as I got it. So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to say a whole lot for it. What's up, Mike Swindell? Good to see you, man. All kinds of guys hopping in on the chat tonight. How's Captain doing? He is doing really good. He was hopped in here earlier. I think he's got to do a post test tonight, something like that. He went to an online or an in-person class a couple days this last week, and he's been working on his post test in the evening. But he's doing really good, getting some extra certifications at the dealership, working with the student that I had kind of left high and dry, unfortunately, when I left the dealership. So he's trying to do the best that he possibly can in the situation that he's been given. But I give him props for that one. Why does General Motors navigation maps for older Cadillacs? Oh, yeah. Uh, new maps for old navigation systems, especially from GM and early Chrysler ones like '02 through '06, where they were nav maps that were part of a CD. So you constantly have to update and load new file updates for those. No, they're not going to pay for those over and over and over again. You're a lot better off if you want to have the nav in the old vehicles like that to just upgrade to a Garmin powered or a some kind of a doubled in radio that has navigation built into it that does automatic updates over the air. Having those old systems like that, no, they cost way too much. Poor Captain needs a raise. Poor Captain actually got himself a raise from what I heard this week as well. So good on the old Captain working his butt off and getting that raise too. I know. Not a whole lot more people in here. Been going, how long have I been on here? Hour and 25 minutes. Now I know we're not the channel like the old the Tool Bear that's on unfortunately on Sunday evenings, but you know what? I appreciate you guys coming in and stopping in tonight. All 21 people who are in here, I give you guys a thumbs up. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me tonight. It's good just kind of chillaxing, seeing what you guys are up to, answering some questions, going through some hopefully new stuff on the channel. You ever had a Karen customer? Everybody has had a Karen customer. You work in the automotive industry, you see that Karen customer daily. To be totally honest, you talk to these customers, and when they're coming into the automotive repair portion of the dealership, this is the worst day of their life. It is never a great day when their car is broken and they're having to pay dealership prices to be able to get their car fixed. Buy a beer or a coffee. I have some tequila mixed into my glass tonight. Got some good old margarita kind of tossed in here, but I think I'll take that coffee in the morning. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thought on Axis ratchets. Honestly, Mac Axis ratchets were not high on my book. Not high on my list. I did the one review on the Mac ratchet, and I didn't like how they were not able to unlock their locking flex head ones. I did not like how they were not able to fully go unlocked. And honestly, the head design and just the feel of the head was not that good compared to the Snap-on and the Matco ones. Was just, kind of my 2 cents in on that one. I honestly hadn't been using Mac things very often. We didn't have a Mac dealer that came to our shop, so I had to purchase one from somebody else totally to be able to get that one. But, it was what it was. Yeah, I know, buddy. By the way, oh yeah, SP Air and SP Tools, they make really, really good air tools. Excuse me. So SP Tools is like sister companies partnered with SP Air, and SP Air makes fantastic air tools. They really, really do. So right now, unfortunately, like I said earlier on the SP Tools USA site, a lot of our stock is pretty low on stuff, and it is getting filled here in the next month or so. But I would say go over and look at the SP Air website, and you could be able to see a lot of the air products that they have over there if that's something that you're wanting to look into in the short time zone. What do you think of mobile automotive techs? How much money did I spend on my first toolbox and all the tools? I'll get to the questions as fast as I can, man. Mobile automotive techs. I wanted to try it out, and it's interesting for some levels of the automotive industry, especially when it would come to like the dealership aspect. If they were to put a mobile technician out, I think it would be more beneficial to a lot of dealerships. But as far as mobile techs in my area, they could not do a lot, and they could not do enough to make a living for what they would cost to do things for. People would not pay more money for a traveling technician, somebody who would even come to your house, than they would for a technician at a dealership shop level, which honestly they probably should. The level of which part of the business is worth more, coming to you or being the dealership level of stuff, kind of a toss up there. But in our area here in BFE, Ohio, unfortunately, it's one of those things where I don't think people would put it as high enough of a cost perspective as it would be to be paying a technician at a dealership. So that's why I don't think that they could survive in this area. Are you going to go live every Sunday again? I am going to try my hardest to. I'm thinking about switching to Saturday evenings just because I know a lot of guys, you know, your Sundays are your family time, and I totally get that one. I don't know, open for options from everybody also on on that one. Like I said, I was just kind of thinking about going to Saturdays for some things, but I would like to definitely at least keep my Sundays going on live streams since I'm not able to put out a lot of content weekly, that is, on the channel either. So I want to keep up the good content, at least talking to all the subscribers here live. So let's see. What was the diesel option for a 2000 Chevy Silverado? The early 2000s, you had the early um, LB7s. I don't think they started in 2000 though. But the LB7s was the earliest Duramax option for those. Prior to that, it wasn't a Duramax engine. What did I do with my Snap-on toolbox? It is sitting in my garage right now. 13 feet of Snap-on toolbox is taking up my very, very tight two-car garage. It's a two-car garage, but it is not a very large two-car garage. They build some of these garages in these newer houses, and you wonder, where did they get the dimensions for coming up with these things? I just don't get it at all. It's a very small two-car garage, but nevertheless, it is in my garage. Glad you got the SB tools. SB tools will be able to get their impact sooner than later. Dude, Cheyenne, I really wish they were able to get them faster. And message me later. I can kind of fill you in on some more information, like on those battery and electric impacts. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing them as soon as we possibly can. Some changes were definitely made, and they are going to be upgraded. So when things do end up coming in, hopefully here in the next month or two is going to be my guess. Hopefully, it's going to be well worth the wait. If I were a millionaire, how much would you spend on a garage? All of it. You make a garage into where you live, obviously. I've always put that up in the air to uh, building a, instead of building a new house that was bigger, I would build a giant pole barn, one that's probably 100 feet by, I don't know, 70 or 80, and having at least half of it set up for a garage, and then just having the house also built into the same big steel structured building, and just having it all under one roof. All my shop and my house, all right there, all heated, all air conditioned. Who wouldn't want to have that one? Who makes SP's cordless tools? SP makes SP's cordless tools. SP makes cordless tools or designs cordless tools for other people too. But we can't say exactly who. But SP makes SP's cordless tools. They design their own. So anyways, go back onto the 300. Go onto the Chrysler 300. We think they look just like Metco. Huh. I mean, yeah, I mean, they look awful close. So going, is the leg lamp still with the captain? It's Warren, it is still sitting on the top of his second rack in there. I told him I will be heavily disappointed if I come by and it's not there. My token of, hey, whenever you're feeling bad, just look up and you can see Rust Belt looking over you from the underside of a leg lamp. It's still there for right now, for what I remember. It's still there. So yeah. Anyways, back with this 300. So we think that cylinder number 7 there on the one side has a cracked head. So at least the heads have to come off of this motor. Now this motor also, come to, just know these things. This motor has 230,000 miles on it. 230,000 rounds on this Hemi. I don't know if it's been replaced before. I can't really tell. It's not blowing fluid out every single orifice or anything like that. I haven't driven it much, but like I said, these Hemis, they're not too bad to fix, and the parts on them really aren't that expensive. So I got a couple other things that is available for this one. What would you guys say if we pulled the heads and, did the whole diagnostic to figure out, hey, we were figuring out this is why we would pull the head. We're seeing this much blow by and showing you guys leak down percentages and everything like that. And then pull the heads, show that one, and then see what is exactly wrong with those heads. And then we do a mild, like, cam up build on this Hemi. So pull the rest of the front cover, put on maybe a new timing set, put in uh, stage 2 cam, maybe put in a stage 2 cam, put on a set of Edelbrock heads, maybe some kind of better intake and some better fuel injectors, throw about 150, 175 extra horse at it, maybe, just to kind of see what'll hold up on this thing. And then, as somebody said earlier, maybe that rally car. We're going into the winter, and especially here in Ohio, the winter sucks. Winter's bad. So how awesome would it be to have one of these POS Chrysler 300s that is Hemi? It's all-wheel drive, and a motor that hopefully, if it holds up, which hopefully it will have right around 450 horse, 490 horse, right around there, maybe 500, jumping up to that amount, seeing what'll hold together, throw on some studded tires and do some crazy stuff in the snow and the winter stuff here in Ohio. How cool a little build would that be? I don't know. Just kind of throwing ideas out there. I had this other crazy idea, since I love to Raptor line everything. What if we took the car and we Raptor lined the whole thing orange? Like, right, like this orange, maybe even a little bit brighter. Like General Lee orange, and you put the stars and bars on the roof, maybe a Charger front grille on the front of it just for shits and giggles. I don't know. Just something totally different. Like I said, this 300 owes me nothing. I have like next to no money into it, and I can afford to put some money into it just for screwing around with it. See, I thought about that, Andrew, but switching that over to a Duramax would be very costly. just the cost of getting a used Duramax engine that would go over nicely, yeah, we're talking like 5 to 8 grand before I got everything that I would need to make it work and go. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that much. Honestly, I don't think I could put that much effort into that one. Hey, thanks for coming in, Just Wrench It. I appreciate you stopping in tonight. Definitely, buddy. Thank you. Why do they call it the Rust Belt? Isn't the meth belt more appropriate? Or how about the too fat to wear a single seat, single belt? Now, honestly, Tony, the reason it's called the Rust Belt is not anything to do with rust on vehicles or that, it's a heavily salted area, even though it really is. It has to do with the economic standpoint of this portion of the country back in the earlier days where the economic downturn of the automotive industry went on. So the big three, when they had the big downturn through the 70s and 80s, massive crashes. It was the huge downturn of the economic standpoint for Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the northern states right here, because that's where probably 80% of the automotive manufacturing within the United States was centered at. So when these automotive manufacturers pretty much took a massive crash in the 70s and 80s, the economy in these states totally crashed, and therefore all of these massive automotive, distribution places, the companies, the factories, the warehouses, all went belly up, junk, and become a barren wasteland of all of these buildings and all the dealerships and everything. So all of this infrastructure, buildings and everything turned and ended up just getting gutted and rusted out, and therefore ended up rusting away. So all of the automotive industry rusting away, that is why pretty much everything here is called the Rust Belt. But it is also fitting that the Rust Belt is also a place where cars come to get most rusty. Yeah, yeah, that's true. My father-in-law wanted to paint his F-150 and wrap. Yeah, that would be cool to see. Seeing a Hemming build is also sick. Ford guy, but I wanted to find a build a cop far from Copart. I've seen a lot of guys buy a lot of chargers off of Copart to see and do those. Now that'll be a good one. So Hemi engines for techs that work on them a bunch, they're so easy to do. They're so easy to work on. The parts do not cost that much comparative to other engines like it in the market. They're not that expensive to work on. Not that bad at all. What's it like to ink splat new vehicles? Never ink splatted a new vehicle. Do you know if SP is planning on going mobile? So they already have some locally mobile around the Foley, Alabama area. They've got a couple of trucks going there. There's also a couple of trucks going on in the greater New York metropolitan area and some in New York City, and also talks of a couple possibly in Texas, but they are looking for people who want to have trucks or franchises of certain kinds throughout the rest of the US. Right now, logistically, we're trying to get more product into the US to be able to work with and sell from Australia. And once we're kind of got that line up working, they're definitely looking to be able to spread more in the tool truck line to a lot more areas. Yeah. So yeah, I think Cheyenne, that was a good one. That Rusty must be a popular name among rust belters. I mean, somewhat it is. Funny enough, I graduated with a guy. He was probably 1 or 2 years ahead of me, and I don't know if his parents just didn't like him or what, but his honest to God name on his birth certificate was Rusty Sink. The last name was Sink, and they named him Rusty. Like I said, I don't know if his mom didn't like his dad just didn't like the fact that he had to have him or what, but Rusty Sink, yeah, had to hate that one. Is it possible to take a 2006 BCM from an Escalade to take the center console, heat it, and install it? I do not know that one, Daniel, whether BCMs from that area of GM vehicles are able to be transferred along other vehicles or not. I know in Chrysler's things, as far as TIPMs or BCMs, it's hard to know that one between vehicles because the VIN number is stored within those. And if that is not exactly configured correctly, it may not work for whatever you're trying to get it to do. So that I'm not sure. What warranty do I get with the SP Tools? So SP Tools has a warranty that pretty much mimics a lot of the other big tool manufacturers in the business. So all of your hand tools, all your sockets, ratchets, wrenches, all obviously lifetime warranty. No stupid questioning or anything. I did a video on the warranty process between tool trucks and online things with SP. Was able to call in, get it warranted. I actually had it faster than waiting on a tool to come from Snap-on. So, and Matco both for that matter. But yep, they still have that warranty. And then as far as their battery tools and electronics, 2-year warranty on those. So a little bit better than some of the other ones. Um, Honestly, pretty middle of the market for what other professional tool brands are doing. All right. Well, I think now that we've been going for about an hour and 47 minutes, I think we're about ready to wind down for the night. So, on that one, I appreciate what's going on with the side by side. We'll give that one um, an answer here, and then I think we'll be about done for tonight. The side by side right now is sitting in my garage. I just did the brake upgrades as you guys saw on that video. Hopefully, I'm trying to work on another kind of cooperation thing for sound system stuff with Rockford Fosgate. So hopefully, going to be doing that one. But then normally I would say it's going to be going into hibernation for the winter here in Ohio. But now the fact that I'm working to and with SP Tools, I'll be going down to Alabama, and down in Alabama, they don't see snow like we see here. So I think we're going to be transporting the good old side by side down to Alabama and getting some extra content out of it throughout the winter months. So going to be taking it down there probably the end of November, first week of December, maybe doing one or two things to it before we take it down there as well, and give some updates for it here and there, get it detailed. But we're going to be taking it down there to get some better content over the winter at least. Looking forward to that one. So, yeah, that's about all we've got for that one tonight. Like I said, if you guys have any other wants or questions or anything, feel free to ask me anytime. A lot of the guys who do ask me questions know that you guys can get a hold of me over either on Instagram. I answer those messages as often as I possibly can or as I see. Instagram's not always the most reliable to get information or questions through, but it sometimes is the fastest response. I also take all the questions through email. You can email me anytime at therustbeltmechanic@gmail.com. So you guys can reach me there for any of the other questions. Plants into popcorn factories. Honestly, don't know. That's a good question, Tony, I guess. All right, Warren, I appreciate it. Thanks. And I want to say thanks for everybody for just kind of hanging out with me tonight. I know it hasn't been real content driven or anything like that, but you guys do know where the channel is sitting right now, kind of waiting on a couple of things and waiting on some input from some of you guys, seeing on what you want to do with this crappy 300 project, whether you guys want to see some bigger, crazier stuff go on with it, or if you would rather see me just hurry up, flip it, get rid of it, and get something cooler for more stuff down the road. I'll leave that one up to you guys because, there's a lot of content I can do either way. Not really a big thing to me, but we're going to be coming out with content as much and as often as I possibly can, and the live streams coming back to you on Sunday nights, and thinking about moving to Saturday nights. Not sure on that one yet. So whatever you guys think, also you can leave that in the comments too, or message me afterwards. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight. Thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time. See you later.